growing up, I remember Russia seeming like this big, scary country. Communism seemed scary. I remember Olympians defecting. I remember hearing stories about children being taken from their homes and growing up and being trained to do something like be an Olympian. I found that scary as a youngster. Also remember the miracle hockey game when America beat the USSR. I don't know, I guess as a youngster, as a child, it just was mostly scary to me. I do distinctly remember about the nuclear arms race. I think it was high school and walking with friends, and we were all just talking about the possibility of nuclear war, and the idea of Russia pointing missiles at us and us pointing missiles at them, and just what would happen? What if there was a mistake? What if somebody messed up, or what if somebody just did it? So anyhow, yeah, I do remember that, and again, fear keeps coming up, being afraid. Back in about 1988, I had an amazing chance to go backpacking with some friends. I was in college and we saved our money, headed over to Europe, and one of the places that we landed and stayed for a while was Germany. And we loved Munich, and then we headed over to West Berlin. And in West Berlin, we got off the train, and there were three of us, American girls, got off the train, and we were trying to figure out where we were going. And a nice young woman with 2 small children came and started trying to help us find the hostel we were going to stay at. And she eventually began to ask us about our trip and talk to us, and we met her children, and long story short, she asked us to come and stay at her home with her family for a couple of days. And it turned out to be a really amazing adventure. The contrast between West Berlin and East Berlin is just still so vivid in my mind today. West Berlin was like an American city. It was busy and active and had bright lights and people and bright clothes and families. It was active. Anyhow, we stayed at this family, and they lived right outside West Berlin. They took us to a country club to eat dinner. It was the first yummy food we'd had in so long. They even had Coca-Cola there. We'd been living off bread, coffee, and water, so what a treat. We stayed in their home. There was hot water. It was just great. And the following day, the woman drove in to East Berlin, and we, the girls, took the train in to East Berlin. And we met her once we were over there. I remember getting off the train, and East Berlin was gray. There were no colors. It was dark. It just looked vividly different. It was just strange. The mom of the family met us over there. She took us around to different places, and it was apparent that she had friends there, and she often crossed the border. She took us to eat at a restaurant. It was very, very different from what we had in West Berlin. Very simple food, not a lot of it. There were lines. I remember lines everywhere. People were waiting outside for food, and I don't even know what else. I just remember long, long queues, long lines everywhere. Then, probably most prominent in my mind is she took us to the wall. And we actually went to a break in the wall where the train goes through. And we stood right at the edge of the Berlin Wall and looked over into the west. The guard tower was there, and I just remember this guard with a huge gun there, and on the other side just looking at us. And it was just so foreign. So foreign. And I just remember thinking how oppressive communism was. And then it was amazing too, about a year or so later, when the wall came down, and watching that on TV, at the places that we had been, and seeing the faces of the people and their joy and their excitement. It was really a really cool experience.